in the Packer Hall of Fame, but I don't know. You have such love for the Packers.
I do. I mean,
10 years probably puts you in X% that ever played in the NFL. I hope they're not booing me.
No, not booing you.
All right.
I think they're looking at time.
I'm going to have somebody look up. The Institute, look up what percentage of NFL players play 10. You were a starter for 10 years.
Technically.
9?
Well, then the 2 out in L.A., so it'd be like 10 or 11.
Okay, somebody 10 or 11. That's got to
Yeah.
put you in the top, 2% of all NFL players.
Yep.
All right. And today's the day it started.
Yes.
For you.
Yeah, 15 years ago.
Your dad was mad.
Yeah, my dad was mad.
Then you mentioned your dad was mad about something else, too, and it made me wonder if your dad was – how often did your dad get mad?
Well, he was just getting aggravated back in the green room because, he's sitting back there and guys are getting picks at, as a dad that you think your son is better than or should.
But you said your dad was mad about something else. I don't know what story you were telling today.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, he didn't like that Dion came and stuck the camera in my face when I was the last guy in the green room. He didn't appreciate that. Obviously, Dion was doing his job, so that's just part of it. But he didn't like that part when I was the last guy back there. But it is what it is.
I looked at that picture because they showed it, and when you looked at it, you just – this is keen observer of the obvious. You just looked a lot younger.
Yes, a lot younger, baby-faced for sure.
Yeah.
Little heavier as well, but a lot younger. I mean,
how do they decide who goes to New York?
How
many people were there initially?
Initially, I mean, that was when pretty much all the guys that they thought that were going in the top 20, 25, they would invite. And most at that point, that's when everyone accepted going to the draft. I mean, Joe Thomas was the outlier. Remember, he stayed
hunting with his dad.
Yeah, or fishing, whatever he was doing.
His dad. Yeah.
But at that time, most guys always went, and the room was full at that time. I mean, every guy was there. I mean, everyone was there. Sam Bradford, Trent Williams, every guy was there. I mean, Gronkowski was there, and he went in the second round. And he was there the whole time, too. So, the room was full to start the night. And then by the end, it was just me and I think Gronk. It was just us.
That's a pretty good pair to be in terms of how things worked out. By the way, we are next to Lambeau Field, and it does now, to me, feel just like there's a game.
Yes, it feels like that. The weather, too, it's starting to cool off. The amount of fans that are walking through. And you see them in the different jerseys. You see a bunch of Packer jerseys, different other teams, though, right? You're seeing Cowboys jerseys and Vikings jerseys. I mean, it just seems like
But not many.
No, it's a lot of Green Bay jerseys. A ton of Green Bay jerseys. Which people listen to you then. They're showing up. They're showing up to come watch the draft. They listen to you.
I hope. Number said they weren't, and I said, imagine if a Martian was in Green Bay. You just want to come to see the Martian. This is, in essence, a freak show because it'll likely never happen again. And they suggested maybe on Saturday. But I said I don't even know if you necessarily would have to be in it, just to drive around and observe it. And, you have to get this NFL, access or something in order to take advantage of anything. Hold on. I did it even though I don't know that I'm going in.
I don't know, but it's really cool. The stage setup is really cool now that I got to take a look at it and kind of see it from where we're at. It's a really cool setup.
NFL One Pass. You got to have that in terms of going into anything.
Yep.
So it's real easy to do with an app, but then it may take you a little extra time in terms of all the things you have to put in your name and maybe go NFL.com. But, this is just no one ever thought it was going to happen, and now it's and then it's just the big part to me is they're here. It doesn't start till 7, and the Packers aren't going to pick until 9:20. So you'll have this just whole build-up. We're on and on and on, and the majority of the people here will likely not know who it is that the Packers take because it's later.
Yep.
And they'll know a few players and, from the quarterbacks and all that kind of stuff. But it's just you're basically going because –
I'm certainly interested to see the first, 6, 7 picks. You know what I'm saying? Where does – do any teams make jumps up? Where does Sanders go, and kind of like where does all the runoff go on certain positions, right? Because everyone's worried about if Green Bay takes a receiver, and so like where does the runoff on receivers start? Because that's how the draft always goes, right?
Yep.
One guy goes, and then teams get nervous, and then the runoff goes on a position. And I'm interested to see what position that is this year. Obviously, we know who the number one pick's going to be. It's going to be the quarterback
Cam
from Miami.
Ward.
Yep. And then what happens then we kind of know it's going to be Travis Hunter number 2, right?
Yep.
And then where does it go from there? And then that's going to be the interesting part that I'm excited.
I'm assuming Carter from Penn State is going to be 3.
The D end?
Yes.
And then the tackle from LSU is 4?
Somewhere in there. I stopped at about 3.
Yeah.
The fascination is just Deion's kid, the quarterback.
Yep.
And I know he has a first name, but he's Deion's kid. That's why I call Thanasis. He's Giannis's brother. I mean, he's Deion's kid.
Yep.
And that's and so I just think he'll be better. I'm not sure he'll be great, but I just have a lot of respect for Deion, who he is, what he's done. I mean, everybody thinks of him as controversial and being in the middle of stuff, and I'll never forget Brett Favre saying, and he played only 1 year in Atlanta, and he was probably just drinking all the time, and he said, after I brought up Deion about some controversy, he says, Deion Sanders is the best teammate I've ever had.
Yeah.
Well, he had no need to say that then. He wasn't in Atlanta anymore. So whatever the impact, I mean, Deion's changed Colorado football. So I just think I'm a huge Gene guy in terms of you got 2 equal players. I'm going to take one whose family background is stuff. And, he turned that program around. The kid got sacked a million times.
Yeah, no kidding.
He's got to be tough.
Yes. I mean, and the thing about it, too, is, like you said it, as bad as the line was, the kid put up numbers still. And,
yes.
I get that he had the Heisman winner on his side, which definitely helps, but the kid still performed at a high level, right? And he still put up numbers, and he still helped the team win way more games than that they have in a long time.
Right.
And he had a really bad offensive line. Now, he could blame a lot of things for that. He could blame his dad. He could blame because they didn't go out and get the right guys to block for him. But at the end of the day, the kid performed.
12.8% of all NFL careers last 10 years. This is from the head of the Institute, but that doesn't say started. And that to me would be even, my guess is starting 10 years is probably at least half or less than half of that.
Yep.
So
yep.
That's the, I mean, and then understanding how elite it is just to play. I mean, you played with all kinds of college players and how few of them actually ever get to the NFL, and you know how good they were playing with them in college.
Yeah, it's really unbelievable when you do actually get into college. It's when you're a young guy, too, when you're a freshman, and you get on campus and you're around these upperclassmen who you think are amazing, right? You think they're great, and you're competing against them at practice, and they don't make it. Like they just and they get into the league, say they get a chance, and they fizz out and they don't make it, and then you get your opportunity, and say you do get in the league and you do get your chance, and then you start to play against the highest level guys in the NFL. You're like, wow, so this is how good you have to be to stay around. This is how elite you have to be to do this year in and year out and stay around, and it's so difficult. But there's so many good players that just don't have it, and that's why today is such a fun event, because you see.
So why don't they make it? I mean, you played with them. What?
I look at a lot of it is mental. I really do, because a lot of these guys have the physical traits. Like you look at how they test, how they run, how big, how strong. They have all the physical traits. It comes down to what's between the pipes and how they process information as it's thrown to them at a higher speed in the NFL. They can process it in college because it's slower, but then they get out here with the best of the best, and they can't process it and then react at the same time.
And that doesn't mean you're smart in school or things like that.
Yeah, no. It's just being that half a second slower and reacting to it. And that's all it takes in the NFL to be good, average, or really good. And it's half a second to how you react to things and how you process information as defenses are moving and shifting, and quarterbacks being able to read defenses just like that before the ball snapped and adjusting, and it's processing information.
And how much of it is, by the way, he gave Bulaga gave a chat to all the people that were on a bus, and you were really good. You're not that funny on your show every day. You seem more relaxed. You seemed, I don't know. Was it fun to do? I always feel like there's a part of you that doesn't want to be in the middle. You were in the middle.
Yeah.
And you seemed. Were you drinking? What?
No, I wasn't drinking.
Am I right? It was.
No, it was fine. I mean, like it was fun. You know, I think it's a fun atmosphere, and obviously, when people go on like what we were on this morning with the bus,
Right.
You know, people have wanted a certain experience, and you know, it's
They had good questions.
Yeah, they had
some
good
of which were tough, but you.
Yeah, they had good questions, and you know,
all right, it was fun to. It was fun. That was a.
Yeah.
That was a A+ Brian Bulaga, because it seemed like you were enjoying it so much with the interaction with the players. All right, we will take a break. I think Jason's scheduled to be on, right?
I think so.
I know he's around here somewhere, and you got partners to take care of. We are at, again, and what's special today, as far as we'll be doing our best picks, and they'll all be brought to you by Lakeland University, where you bet your best pick is your future. Customize your degree on your terms. Learn more at lakeland.edu/draft. My first best pick is, though I think he's probably too good, would be the Packers selecting the offensive lineman, and yes, because it would irritate everybody. All I need to tell you is he's from North Dakota State, Gray Zabel, but that's not the key. They're not going to know the name, but when you see North Dakota State, you'll go, what the? And yet there have been so many good players.
There's been a bunch of good players, and I know about them. You know what I mean? Ever since you mentioned him, I looked him up last night.
Now they claim that the if he gets early, it'll because they believe he can play every position.
Yeah, I mean, he's versatile. Like, he can do a lot of different things. But, like, I always say this about guys that they say they can do all five.
Right.
Their first shot's going to be at tackle.
Left tackle.
They're
If
gonna
you
want
can
him to
play
play
all five,
Yeah,
right?
they're going to want him to try tackle first. And if they can't do tackle, then they're going to kick him into guard. And if they can't do guard, then obviously they'll put a ball in his hand. But, like, it's always going to start outside in and see how he's able to do from that standpoint.
The tackle you've tried to teach us that it's open space. It's what?
Yeah, it's open space. It's being able to handle what I believe is the best athletes on the field. Like, you look at the defensive ends, being able to handle those guys in open space, away from your guard, one-on-one most of the game. It's a difficult task.
And I hear it. Now you have to confirm it. When you hear can play every position, you go, I'm not buying it. Like, the percentage where that's actually true
it's so low.
is so small.
It's so low. Like, you look at the guy like Bruce Matthews.
Right. Well, I mean, even say Bakhtiari. I mean, Bakhtiari, as good as he was, I'm not sure he could play every position. Could he?
No. If you ask Dave, if I were to get Dave on the phone right now and say, "Could you think you could play right tackle?" He would go, "Hell no. My leg, I couldn't function that way." Like,
so they may have said that about him because he's a good athlete. I don't know what makes them think that a person can play every position.
I don't know either. Maybe it's like you saw them play guard at some point in their career, and you think he could maybe do that again at the highest level.
Right.
I like the guy that we have in Green Bay, Elton. We know he can do it because he's done it, right? He's played guard tackle, and now he's about to do center this year, and he's played.
The other
center.
thing is, to me, you used to want to play left tackle because you made so much more money. I'm not sure that's as big a case anymore. I think money's kind of going everywhere now.
Yeah.
Center, maybe the least, but you can make a ton of money at guard.
Yes.
So
the guards are making tons of money. The right tackles
right.
are making
So
huge
if you're
money.
one of those players, I don't know. Do you still want to play left tackle?
Yeah, because at the end of the day, they still make the top
right.
dollar as the elite left tackle. Like, I think Tristan Wirfs, the left tackle from the Bucs, is at like 25, 26 a year, and I think the top right tackle I think is at like 21 or 22. So like, there's a couple million difference.
It's getting closer.
But it's getting closer for sure.
Again, all brought to you by Lakeland University. Do you have your first best pick? You're allowed about 10 today, and you can change it. I'll have another best pick. I'm fascinated now by this cornerback out of Texas, Barron.
Yeah, I saw that. I'm still going to stick with who I said earlier. I'm sticking with Emeka Egbuka, the wide receiver from Ohio State. I like the Ohio State players. I think they're solid. I got to play with a great one in Corey Linsley, so I trust the Ohio State players. I think they're good. I think they come out of Ohio State ready to play. If there was an Iowa guy that I thought was worthy, I would say the Iowa guy.
There doesn't seem to be.
I don't think there's an Iowa guy in the first round this year.
Yeah.
I don't believe there is.
The other one I like is this safety. Jason talked to him a little bit earlier from South Carolina. I don't know. But anyway, former high school middle linebacker.
Ooh.
Playing safety, which tells me that could be one of those guys that's just all over the place and could just take over the field. I don't know if I'm making him better than he is. Jason Wilde, next.
Still have issues on westbound 894 just past 27th Street. The two left lanes are blocked with a crash. So that's going to be causing some big delays back through the Mitchell interchange all the way down. Actually, 94 northbound slowing down from before the airport spur. So keep that in mind. We've got northbound 43 slowing down out of the Marquette interchange all the way up to Keefe. On the southbound side, just south of Good Hope Road, we do still have that debris in the road, but it is off on the right shoulder. So things are getting a lot better. Still heavy, though, from just south of Brown Deer Road to that point. And then we've got delays westbound 94 out of the Marquette all the way to about Hawley Road. And then again through the Barker Road area. Eastbound's backing up from about 92nd Street all the way to 27th. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast tonight, increasing clouds, a slight chance for rain later on, a low of 42. Tomorrow, showers likely, mostly cloudy otherwise, a high of 48 at the lake, 54 inland. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
With Wilde and Tausch, you won't miss a play.
And now, unless there's a big boy trade coming that I don't see on the horizon, Green Bay is going to run this thing back and probably pick up an early round draft pick to add to that room.
Presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin.
And you hope that these other guys will emerge and can add, but I don't see them making a J.R. Ewing type change.
Weekdays from 9 to noon on 94.5 ESPN, ESPN Milwaukee's YouTube channel, and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
The only thing that tops our selection is your savings discount liquor.
Ever notice how wine enthusiasts often speak a completely different language? And while that language may technically be English, to most people it's anything but. Hi, this is Marie from Discount Liquor, where we stock over 8,000 varieties of wine and speak many dialects of wine English to help everyone, from the wine novice to the master sommelier. So if you need an expert recommendation for wine, or maybe you know what you want and simply need help locating it, our experienced staff has got your back. No matter the budget, occasion, or your level of wine expertise, Discount Liquor will make you feel at home. Discount Liquor, unmatched selection, everyday low prices, a helpful staff, and 2 convenient locations. In Milwaukee on 51st in Oklahoma, and in downtown Waukesha on Barstow and Maine.
Discount liquor.
The I-94 rivalry is more than just bragging rights. Get to the ballpark for Brewers-Cubs action May 2nd through the 4th and spend Friday and Saturday night under the lights and help the Crew defend American Family Field and the National League Central Crown.
That's your ball game!
Then pack the park for Sunday matinee baseball at the May 4th series finale and take advantage of the Sunday Fun Day bundle. Get your tickets now at brewers.com.
ESPN Wisconsin's Brian Balaga here for my new friends at Surfside. There's only one thing better than Surfside and golf, and that's Surfside iced teas and lemonade plus vodka on the golf course. This golf season, there's no better drink to enjoy on the golf course. Surfside is light, refreshing, and made with real vodka and real brewed tea. Plus, there's only 100 calories, 2 grams of sugar, and 0 bubbles. That's right, no carbonation. Cheers to hitting the fairway, and cheers to Surfside. It's tea time. Must be 21. Please drink responsibly.
Escape the city and relax at Lake Lawn Resort in beautiful Delavan, Wisconsin. Enjoy outdoor activities on Delavan Lake, tee off at the lakeside Majestic Oaks Golf Course, or unwind at the award-winning Calidora Spa. With both indoor and outdoor pools, there's fun for the whole family. Take a cruise on the Lake Lawn Queen, explore stunning shores and historic landmarks, and enjoy delicious food and drinks on board. Book your stay today at lakelawnresort.com, where everything is better at the lake.
This is the ESPN Wisconsin Draft Spectacular, presented by American Family Insurance on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app. ESPN.
Jason Wilde, all Packers all the time, and even Jason anyway. Brad Blaga has a partner.
I do. ESPN fans, I want to talk to you about my friends at Surfside. Obviously, down in Florida, I'm on the golf course quite a bit. It's one of my hobbies. But when it's time to reach for a cold beverage, it's always going to be a Surfside iced tea and lemonade plus vodka. That's right, it is golf season in Wisconsin. Driving through Poland today, seeing all the courses, got me feeling some type of way. But there's no better drink to enjoy out on the course. It's light, refreshing, and made with real vodka. Surfside tea tastes cleaner than all those other drinks. It doesn't have that sugary taste and leave that feeling all over your teeth. You know what I'm talking about. Plus, there's a variety of great flavors. My favorite, the John Daly, half tea, half lemonade, strawberry lemonade, peach tea, and so many more. Only 100 calories, 2 grams of sugar, and 0 bubbles. That's right, no carbonation, so you won't be feeling full and bloated after only 2 drinks. Cheers to hitting the fairway. Cheers to Surfside. It's tea time. Must be 21 years or older. Please drink responsibly.
And now, the great segment, Pillow Please, Jason Wilde and Brian Bulaga. Doc, take it away.
It is great to be in person with Jason because it never happens, so it's like fantastic.
Seriously, when is, like, you've been with us now for quite a while. You've filled in for Lord knows how many shows that Tausch didn't come on because he was off that day.
Yep.
You join us every Wednesday. And through the magic of video, I still see you. But have I seen you in person since you left in free agency?
The tailgate tour.
That was it.
That was
when
it.
you went on the tailgate tour, because
Yeah.
even when you came to talk to the team,
Yeah, you were out of town.
I wasn't here.
Yeah, you were out of town. So, yeah.
God, it's great to see you.
Yeah, it's been since the tailgate
It's
tour.
been a while since I've seen Homer in person, too, but it's not as exciting.
It shouldn't be.
So,
In
Jason,
the food chain, he's way above me.
Well, at least you know your place.
I do.
so what do you think of the atmosphere now that it's the day? I know you were here yesterday and you were you said it was a little bit tame.
I was nervous. I'm not going to lie. Like, Domofsky was worried from the very start that we might look foolish here in Green Bay. And I do have a sensitivity about the big city folks, who kind of look down their nose on Green Bay. And look, we have our shortcomings as a community. We also have some really great qualities, including it takes me 15 minutes to go absolutely everywhere, no matter where I am.
Which is amazing.
Everything's like 15
It's
minutes
a
away.
small place.
Which I love about
Right,
Green
and
Bay.
so when I came here on Monday for Goody, I guess I thought, I don't know why, because it's not like there's anything really going on, but I thought there'd be people milling about who came into town for the draft. And then when I was here yesterday, and it was like they were running the 2-minute drill to get set up. Like there were still construction teams putting stuff up and NFL people scampering all around. And there were no fans. There were very few fans.
Yep.
And I was like, oh, my gosh. And then I came this morning to do our show. And there weren't really many people milling about it.
Very few fans at 1 o'clock.
Right.
Yeah.
And so, and now as I look, and obviously we did something with Matt LaFleur. You guys did your Pit Boss event with Tausch and with Tucker Kraft. And we were causing bottlenecks because people were stopping to see Blue and to see Tucker and I guess to see Tausch too.
Yeah.
And so now I'm like, I take a deep
By
breath,
the way,
and now
Blue
we look like
Blue got screwed in that event. We've had
wait. Did
investigation.
you didn't lose?
I
did you?
lost. I got out cheered. That's how I lost. I got out cheered.
Yeah, that's
Tausch nearly had the fire department.
I
come
saw
because
the
he
flame.
created a flame.
And by the way, I know we all think very highly of Gabe Neitzel. I have a very high opinion of him as a teammate, as a person, as a play-by-play
he
guy.
works more than you.
Which is hard to say, by the way. Not hard to say about Tausch. But I've never heard anyone like he fills that on Bucks games to call Bucks games play-by-play.
Right.
I've never heard anyone do play-by-play of a cook-off. But I thought he did an outstanding job. And the fact that Bulaga lost when Tausch started the towering inferno, I think that tells you. And again, I didn't realize this, but I heard that you were telling this story on the ride up, that Tausch was kind of tough as a veteran player, that he and Cliffy were, dare I say, bullyish.
No, bullyish or very demanding. They like their things a certain way. They like their coffee a certain way, and if it wasn't right, even if it was right, it gets sent back and go get another one. They liked a certain chewing tobacco, and if it wasn't a full can or if it was only a half can, I need a full one. and
They
I had
were
to go
just
get a full
screwing
one.
around.
But I had to go get
But
it.
he's got to do it.
But I had to go get it.
Yes, but
So did you do that to Corey Lindsley
Not
then
a
when he was
chance
a
in the
rookie in
world.
2014?
Not a chance
did you,
in the world.
Did
No.
you pay it forward by being a
Never.
jerk too?
No, Corey, but he just says, "Hey, Corey, can I get a can of chew?" Yep, here you go.
Yeah.
Toss it over his shoulder. That would be that.
You're such a better person.
And then, and I wasn't a big coffee drinker, so I didn't do any of that. Like, it just wasn't something I did. But, no, but then you have to remember who was also in that room. Scott Wells was, a little salty.
a little what?
Yeah, a little
I never
salty.
heard Scott Wells stories.
Scott Wells was a little salty. Alan Barber was
hold on,
behind
what
me.
is a little salty?
Uh-huh.
Mad all the time? What
Yeah,
is-
he was a
all
little,
Well, in fairness to Scott Wells, who now when you moved here, you bought Aaron Campman's
Yeah,
house.
he was my neighbor. He was like two
and
houses
Scott
down.
Wells was in the same neighborhood, right?
Yes, yeah.
So Scott Wells was irascible, but part of the reason was
Use a word they'd use in Indiana.
uh,
Angry, always mad, difficult.
no, I don't think so. But here's the thing: he had a big-time chip on his shoulder because he was another one of those seventh-round picks who,
Okay.
when he came in, he deserved a roster spot. They didn't give it to him.
Yep.
Put him on the practice squad, and he was pissed.
All right, so
and he
was
played
mad.
with a chip on his shoulder the rest of his career.
a
But
good
some
player.
And
peop-
it was
some
so
people-
good for him, too.
But
Yeah.
some people compete best when they're mad
Totally
at
agree.
everybody. Bill, your favorite.
Bill
Bill Schrader.
Schrader certainly
Yes.
qualifies under that category.
Yes, you have not met him much since, but I can tell you
He was
he's,
on the tailgate tour.
he's-
I somehow managed to not talk to him.
he's much, 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 much nicer.
Maybe to you.
I think he would be to you.
I don't think so.
Okay, all right, I'm wrong.
Fair
I
enough.
can move on. Some guys never forget. You would know that.
I'm an
You
expert
have,
in
you
it.
have a mirror.
I do.
All right,
indeed.
back to Scott Wells. So
No, but it was the room full of it was him, then DC, Darren College. He could be tough.
Really?
And then
Okay.
Sitton, a young Sitton.
Oh,
And then TJ was in his second year. So, it was a pretty rough room if you messed up stuff.
okay.
And it was a veteran room. It was a very veteran room. Like Jason Spitz. I mean, Spitty was a great guy, but you messed up his food order. He was mad. He wasn't happy about it. So, it was
but I think it speaks to Brian's character that he endured this and then did not pay it forward by being the same way with young players.
couldn't do it. I mean, listen, there's always the normal harassing
Sure.
of rookies, but not to the point where you're like, go get me another coffee. There's come on, it's a cup of coffee. I put the creamer in there.
Especially now, Tausch drinks it no matter what.
They did it for their own personal amusement.
No doubt.
All right, let's get to the draft this year. I've said we have all the best picks brought to you by Lakeland University, where your best pick is the future, your future. Customize your degree on your terms. Learn more at lakeland.edu/draft. Whoever came with that idea was fantastic. It's perfect for tonight. All right, let's talk about anybody you want. Who do you want to talk
The
about?
level to which you abdicate this segment is incredible to me. Just whatever. You guys do whatever you want. I'm surprised you actually stay for it at least.
Well, there are people here, and I don't want to get them to get the wrong idea.
So, Brian, I said this to you a while back, and I wasn't just blowing sunshine. The Packers are picking 23rd.
Yep.
You were the 23rd overall pick. And I said this, and I still mean it, and I believe your career proves me right. That you had no business being on the board still at 23. Is it possible?
his
that-
dad would agree.
Well,
it's my dad, so.
exactly. Yeah, I'm not as biased. I covered him as a player. And I had to point out when, guys got the best of him. But
Yeah.
I'm not going to point that out because I've done that too much already.
That's all right. That's all right.
Bruce Irvin. But
Yep.
here's the thing. It is very rare for a player as good as you to still fall that far. Because you were – take me back to your draft day. Did you think you were top 10, top 15? You were definitely not expecting
Yeah.
to still be on the board at 23.
Yeah, we thought probably the latest would be 12 or 13. That's what we thought. We initially thought 9 to Buffalo.
Right.
That was what my agent was hearing very clearly.
Right.
Was 9 to Buffalo, and they took C.J. Spiller. And then we were like,
Uh-oh.
Okay, what's going to happen here? And then and we fell. And then it was like teams kept trading back in. They took Mikey Upati, San Francisco did. And
Yeah.
So, we were kind of like, well, I have no idea what's going to happen here. So, yeah, once we kind of fell out of that top 12, 13, it was like, no idea what's going to happen here now. And that's the way it played out.
Well, and I know, having talked to Ted at the time, because back then he actually would sit down with us one-on-one in addition after the draft was over, and I just remember him saying, I can't believe he was there. I just can't believe he was there. just the way he just kept saying. And so the reason I bring it up is that doesn't happen often, but is it possible that there could be that guy, a guy, doesn't have to be an offensive lineman, it could be Teteroa McMillan, right, where there's been some folks that I've seen have said, he doesn't like to watch film or this or that. Is that the kind of thing that's enough that a guy that has no business still being on the board comes to Goody? Because let's be honest, given some of these first-round picks who have not either produced right away or not produced as much as you would expect over time as a first-round pick, he could use a guy that has no business being on the board at 23 like you were, and that allows you – because you don't get to take really, really good players in the 20s very often.
Yeah.
It's why Homer has always argued that's why he took Jordan Love when he did, because he didn't think he was going to get a quarterback of that caliber
that late.
And you're always picking in the 20s.
Yep. Yeah.
Who's an example other than Brian Bulaga who they took because they never thought he would be around that late?
They got back in to get Clay.
So the Clay Matthews story is a little different though, and Goody loves to tell this story, and it's one of my favorites. Is that so? Back then, in 2009, it was the year before Brian got here. But they've got John Schneider, who went on to be a GM, John Dorsey, who went on to be a GM, Reggie McKenzie, and I think Scott McLuhan was still here too. And all four of those guys are working the phones because Ted, who had gone to Clay's pro day, wanted to get back into the first round to take Clay Matthews. And Goody tells the story. This is a really good story that he tells, and I'm not going to do it justice. But all the guys, these are all guys that have futures as GMs, so they know how to drive a bargain, right? They know what they're doing. And they're all the asking prices were too high to get up to 24. They end up trading with the New England Patriots and Bill Belichick. And Belichick subsequently tells the great story about what a galactically stupid thing it was to trade away that pick because he should have taken Clay Matthews. But they were all these teams that they were talking to, every one of them was asking for too high of a price. And Ted finally said, it's not about the price. It's about the player. I want the player. And so I think, and I have not gone back and fact-checked this, but Goody told us this story a couple days ago. I think if you looked at the chart, the Packers gave up more than they should have based on the chart to get Clay Matthews. But you don't win the Super Bowl without Clay
Ron
Matthews.
Wolf should have done the same for Lewis.
Well, and the problem with Lewis is he thought he had him.
Right.
He didn't think he had a trade.
But, if you think he's that good.
Right.
Or
Well,
DeJean.
I'm not ready to say. I know we're in the presence of Iowa royalty. I'm not ready to say that about Cooper DeJean yet. He had a great play in the Super Bowl. He was inconsistent his rookie year. But I'll tell you another guy that would fit that suit, because if you look at kind of the opportunities, there's also reasons why sometimes you miss on a guy because you scout him. And the guy, and this was when Brian was playing, is T.J. Watt. And everyone brings it up that they traded back and they missed out on T.J. Watt, and then they took Kevin King, right?
But they got two players instead of Watt.
They did. They got Vince Beagle in the fourth round.
Correct.
But the mistake there was not trading back. The mistake there was that they misevaluated T.J. Watt, and they didn't think on their grade board, they did not have a big difference between T.J. Watt and Vince Beagle, who played at Wisconsin with him. And that is a failure of scouting.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because they were not right about that assessment.
Right.
Yeah.
Also a failure of an important part in Homer's scouting bureau, jeans.
Yeah, right. Like, that was another thing that I always thought, too, was that he's J.J. Watt's brother. I think you have to think he's probably got some similar qualities. It was a big whiff. There's no doubt about it.
All right. Hard to believe that we're behind. So the last name you want to leave us, for whatever reason you want.
So what I enjoyed when we did our Q&A with LaFleur was he turned the tables on me. Tausch asked him, well, who are you going to pick? And he turned Jason, who do you think we should pick? And I said McMillan, the wide receiver. I think that he is special, but I don't think he's going to be there unless he slides. So then LaFleur says, well, what if he's gone? Then I said Shamar Stewart. Again, I'm smitten with potential. His production's terrible, but I think this guy could be. If
he
they
fits
do it.
a Goody.
He does. And then LaFleur says, well, what if he's gone? And I'm like, And he said, now you know what it's like to be in the draft room. Because I sit there, I mean, he didn't say the part about Goody not caring what he thinks. He said, but I sit there and I see these guys go pick after pick, guys that I like.
Yep.
And you have to keep thinking, okay, who's next on the list? And that's the tough part, too, about picking 23rd, is that not always does a Brian Bulaga fall to you.
Thanks, Jason.
All right, guys. Take care. Be good.
Fisco Auto Body, a family business owned since 1931. It's not what they do, it's who they are. They are so good because they've been doing it that long. And, yes, still in the family. They probably started at 3 or 4. And by now, they're fantastic. What you get is good. On Forest Home in Franklin, expert workmanship guaranteed for the life of your vehicle. And, yes, I admit you eventually will like me because you listen and go to Fisco. You got an auto body place forever. At a point, you go, well, man, Homer, thanks. See, people think better of me because of Fisco. Fisco. Remember the name Blue, as Jason Wilde called him. I don't think I've ever called him Blue, and I don't know that I ever will. The doctor of football, Brian Bulaga, next.
More coming up next on the ESPN Wisconsin Draft Spectacular, presented by American Family Insurance.
Still have delays northbound on 43 heading through the Marquette interchange all the way up to Keefe. On the southbound side, we've got backups from just before Silver Spring all the way down past Capitol Drive to about Burleigh. Back on the brakes from Fond du Lac Avenue down through the Marquette and onto the high rise. Westbound 94, you got backups out of the Marquette all the way to about Hawley Road. And then more delays from Moreland Road all the way to Barker. Eastbound slowing down from 92nd Street through the stadium to 35th. And then we've got northbound 41, still heavy from just past Watertown Plank Road all the way up past Hampton. And check out the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast tonight. Increasing clouds, slight chance for rain later on, a low of 42. Tomorrow, showers likely, mostly cloudy with a high of 48 at the lake, 54 inland. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
Buying and selling a home can be a stressful process. Hey, it's Jen Latta from Jen, Gabe & Chewy. The We Sell group at Keller Williams has a goal of making it stress-free for everyone. Their passion is people, their availability is unmatched, something I'm experiencing firsthand while I search for a lake home to enjoy Wisconsin summers even more. Rob and Nick are there every step of the way, not just for their sellers, but also to potential buyers and their agents to bring in as many strong offers as possible. Get started today at wesell.kw.com. That's wesell.kw.com.
Introducing the newest carbless flavor, Mango Vodka. Flavored with the essence of the ripest, freshest mangoes, carbless Mango Vodka will transport your taste buds to a sunny beach getaway. New flavor, still the same carbless crafted cocktails with 0 carbs, 0 sugars, and only 100 calories. Enjoy a refreshing vodka cocktail without the guilt. 4 packs of the new carbless Mango Vodka cocktail are available in stores near you. Find your bliss today at drinkcarbless.com and escape with every sip.
They say seeing is believing. And when you check out what's waiting for you at American Place Casino, you'll definitely believe you'll love it. From thrilling gaming to top-notch service, we're changing the game. Come play all your favorites like blackjack, craps, roulette, and the latest slots. Catch a game at the sportsbook, enjoy great restaurants, bars, and more. If you're ready for excitement, exceptional service, and an experience you'll never forget, then we'll see you soon. American Place Casino. Change the game. Must be 21 years of age or older. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, crisis counseling and referral services can be accessed by calling 1-800-GAMBLER.
Beat the tariffs this month at Cunis. Get your tariff-free car, truck, or SUV before they're gone. All current in-stock new vehicles are not affected. Plus, take advantage of employee pricing and huge manufacturer discounts on select brands and models. Shop from over 2,800 cars, trucks, and SUVs group-wide from 18 new vehicle brands. Our loan experts will work to get you our best interest rate possible. And our Fresh Start financing program can help you get approved regardless of your credit. Plus, you're covered by our lifetime no-fear powertrain warranty, included with qualified new and pre-owned vehicle purchases. Visit your local Cunis dealership today for your tariff-free vehicle while they last. But don't wait, because once they're gone, they're gone. With over 30 locations across the Midwest, there's sure to be a Cunis location near you. Start your search online at shopcunis.com. That's shopkunes.com.
Let's talk about home turf. Your lawn is a reflection of your pride, hard work, and even competitive spirit. If you want a yard that makes the neighbors stop and stare, you need the right plan. That's where Weedman Lawn Care comes in. Weedman's lawn care program is kid and pet friendly, uses golf course quality fertilizer, and has an effective weed treatment to dominate any issue. Get a free quote of Weedman's winning formula for your yard at weedman.com and get 50% off your first treatment. That's weedman.com. Weedman for the win.
You're listening to the ESPN Wisconsin Draft Spectacular, presented by American Family Insurance on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
There's something else that you want. Whatever it is that you do, there's something you want to.
We started 2 hours before. Now it's an hour and 20 minutes before, and it's still the same
amount of people.
And the area that we have is, I don't know, 10, 20 feet across, and it's been full for the last hour.
It's a constant flow.
So I don't know how many people that creates, but it feels to me just like a game, just like the way it is here outside the stadium.
It's packed.
For a game.
Yeah.
American Place Casino, located in Lake County, Illinois. Exciting table games, slot machines, sports book, and all kinds of promotions. Play 500 on us. Shut the box. Lots of fun. Monday comp point exchange. For all of them, if you're not taking advantage of more than one, it's on you. AmericanPlace.com. But that's already more than I normally do because to me, just a half hour south of Franklin. American Place Casino, just a half hour south of Franklin. Just a half hour south of Franklin. Yes, you show up. Just yell it when you walk. Just a half hour south of Franklin, and maybe 38 minutes if you're really particular. Half hour south of Franklin, American Place Casino, located in Lake County, Illinois. We continue to bring up names because that's what this is going to be.
Yep.
Who are they going to take? Who are they going to take? I don't really care who's number 1, number 10, but there's a group, and it's not that complicated, but it's hard. I don't know the family members, but yes, when I'm huge in jeans. That's why I made the mention about Deion Sanders' kid.
Yep.
In terms of there's part of Deion in there. I don't know how much, but it's like when Watt was available.
Yep.
I said just take him. Why? Because of his brother. When Sabonis was available, I told the Bucks take him. Why? Because Jim McElvain told me his dad might have been the greatest center that ever played. So I'll take my chance on his kid when you're picking midway through the draft. I don't know.
Yep. There's something to be said about it, that's for sure. And, to me, it's like I mentioned earlier, I always look early in the draft, and no, it doesn't matter who goes 1, who goes 10. It's positionally what gets the run on. Yes. And that's what is going to impact the Packers at 23, right? It's the run on what position is going to impact Green Bay. Like, yes, no, it doesn't matter if there's a run on safeties. No, it does not matter technically if there's a run on offensive lineman because we invested in the offensive line last year in the first round. We invested in a guard in free agency. We're somewhat stable in the offensive line room, but it's the wide receiver room. It's the DB room. It's the D line. Like, what's the run on those 3 positions from 1 to 22? That will tell us what Green Bay is going to be focusing on with that 23rd pick. And if we can get a good beat on what guy is going to drop to them after that run on, we'll have a pretty good idea, I think, by pick, I would say 15, 16, who will probably be available based on team needs of other teams above them. And
they're going to be a couple of the names we brought up at 23.
Yep.
Given how few picks they have, I can just easily see them. And people say they're like 5 great players, and after that they're like 30. Well, if that's the case, then you trade down if somebody's willing to give you something because Goody always likes more picks. That's the belief that goes back to Ron Wolf. And then my question is, would he trade down in Green Bay? And I know the answer. Not only yes, hell yes.
I think he would if the package is good enough.
Yes. He'll do what's best for the Packers, and he has no trouble walking up there and being booed for 20 minutes.
Yeah, I mean,
not for 20 minutes, but
like,
because he's going to get booed there's going to be boos if they trade that pick.
They
right?
would be upset.
Yeah,
I think,
no, that's fans.
No.
You've been here for 3 hours with the 23rd pick. Oh, we haven't traded, and the Packers have traded with.
Now, there's a chance that he could trade out and still trade back into the first round.
Yes,
and still get a first round.
he could move down 2 spots, 3
and
spots.
still collect picks, which would be great. But if he gets out of the first completely, that would not be. I don't know how that would sit with the Packer fans.
No, they're not going to be happy, and I wouldn't be happy either. I sat here for 2 hours, and now.
In the hometown,
yeah,
I mean, I could see people.
And I could be Goody. I'll take it. I got one job, to make this football team as good as I can make it, and if that means the people are going to be mad here, but I will say, as much as I believe, I'd be surprised if he did it.
I would be shocked.
They're going to have a first-round pick.
Yes, I think so.
Yes,
because then if I could see if he did get rid of it, he would get back in it some way, some shape, or form.
And there's just somebody would have to be making want somebody really bad, and the premise is that there's really nobody that good that people might want that bad unless it would be the quarterback. Like if Pittsburgh did take him and Deion's kid's available at 23, it could be someone that might
like that,
give you something.
And they normally, when they do that, the teams make them identify who they want. Like they say, all right, who are you looking to take? Because what if I want him? If I trade with you, what if I want to get in?
Right, and they would easily know with the Packers they don't want Sanders, so
so that would be an easily identifiable request. But I don't think he does it. I don't think so. But
come on, Goody, take on the whole time. The one time.
Oh my goodness.
The one time the Packers have the draft, they have no first-round pick because Goody traded out to get a couple of extra picks. Yeah. As tough as I think he is to take on anybody, I don't think so. I just think that I get he wants more picks, but if there's quality enough at 23, why move back out of it just to get another fourth? Because he thinks they're all about the same, and I think he really believes in this roster now without the additional players.
Yeah. No, I get it.
So, but does he have the guts? And then like Jason, I don't want a good story. That'd be a hell of a story.
Oh, that would be something.
Yes.
There would be a lot to write about.
How many cities have hosted the draft and not had a first-round pick? All right, the Institute, go to work.
It had to be New York at some point, right? The Jets and the Giants.
Once it started going to various cities.
I would say none. I would say they all had to
Institute, go to work. More with Brian Bulaga from Lambeau Field next.
We're back after this on the ESPN Wisconsin Draft Spectacular, presented by American Family Insurance. The 2015 Wisconsin men's hoops team gave us all a march to remember.
There will be no undefeated champion on Wisconsin with an unbelievable stretch drive to the championship game.
On June 26th, enjoy an intimate celebration with the stars of the run with Made 'em Believe. Presented by M3 Insurance. World-class expertise and individual attention. Tickets are on sale now at uwhoops2015.com. Made 'em Believe. June 26th at the Orpheum Theater in Madison.
When you don't compromise on the court, you shouldn't compromise off of it either. Lose the calories, not the taste. Michelob Ultra. Superior light beer. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri. Copyright 2024.
Hey Bucks fans, enjoy Michelob Ultra at Fat Daddy's Milwaukee, Rivals Kenosha, Lucky Clover Milwaukee, DJ's Goalpost Menominee Falls, and Mecca's Sports Bar Milwaukee. Michelob Ultra, proud sponsor of the Milwaukee Bucks.
The I-94 rivalry is more than just bragging rights. Get to the ballpark for Brewers-Cubs action May 2nd through the 4th and spend Friday and Saturday night under the lights and help the crew defend American Family Field and the National League Central Crown.
That's your ball game!
Then pack the park for Sunday matinee baseball at the May 4th series finale and take advantage of the Sunday Fun Day bundle. Get your tickets now at Brewers.com.
An ESPN Radio Extra Point.
with Evan Cohen, Chris Canty, and Michelle Smallman.
Do we think that Aaron Rodgers is specifically paying attention to the draft tonight?
Of course he is.
You do?
He's trying to gather as many data points as he can to figure out what the best step is for him to make and what is likely his last destination in his football life. And given what we know about Aaron Rodgers, I can't imagine that he would be thrilled going into a situation like Kirk Cousins had last year, where you go there, you're supposed to be the starter, and then they draft somebody like Michael Penix Jr., and you have to look over your shoulder. Now, it's interesting to me because that's so counterintuitive as far as I'm concerned. If you really think you're that guy, if you're like, hey, I'm a Super Bowl champion and I'm a 4-time MVP, I'm going to come in here and make your organization better, you shouldn't be threatened by a rookie. You shouldn't be threatened by anybody else in that quarterback room. However, maybe that's not an environment that he wants to willingly place himself in.
The sports calendar is heating up, and with ESPN Bet Sportsbook, you can go from checking news and stats to placing bets in just a couple of taps. Stream games, bet live, and get exclusive offers when you link your ESPN account. Right now, you can get $100 in bonus bets when you make your first $10 wager. Download the ESPN Bet app and sign up with promo code JOEQ to get started today. That's JOEQ, JOEQ. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details. Offer not available in New York.
Still getting around to that fix on your car? You got this. On eBay, you'll find millions of parts guaranteed to fit. Doesn't matter if it's a major engine repair or your first time swapping your windshield wipers. eBay has that part you need, ready to click perfectly into place for changes big and small. Loud or quiet, find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. But you already know that. eBay. Things, people, love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Who's looking for a better deal? Well, Cousins Subs $10 meal deals just got better. Available online only. Order your 7.5-inch meal deal today and upgrade it with a large fountain beverage, large fry, regular shake, or regular Wisconsin cheese curds. Prices vary by item from $1 to $2 a piece. Make it better and make it your own way. Now that's a better deal. For further details or to order, go to cousinsubs.com or on the mobile app. Cousins Subs. We believe in better. Available online at participating locations only. Offer subject to change without notice.
You're listening to the ESPN Wisconsin Draft Spectacular, presented by American Family Insurance on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
On season 4, I'll get it here. Want to make sure I read it right. Season 4 Behind the Bucks podcast presented by Gallagher. Explore Bucks superstar Damian Lillard. It's hard to believe his unlikely journey from a 2-star high school prospect. I wonder how many there have been in the history of the league that score and have done as much as he had, to a top 75 player in NBA history. The series, narrated by senior NBA insider Chris Haynes, reveals exclusive details of Dame's trade to the Bucks and experience with the team. Find Behind the Bucks on Bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, and wherever you get your podcast. Behind the Bucks is presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker and H&R benefits consultant. All right, any other last names? I said to Jason, any other names that you want to mention or are fascinated are? I mean, we haven't talked that much about Travis Hunter, who can play both ways, but I don't know how much you can do that literally in the NFL. Don't you become one and then you become a specialist in the other?
Yes, and that to me is going to be an interesting dynamic how that plays out wherever he's going to go, because I know he's going to want to do both, and that's kind of how he's being promoted, and that's how he's promoting himself, and I know he's very talented on both ends. But I don't know how you do that in the NFL, right? Like, just think about it this way. Offensive side of the ball, average, you run 65, 70 plays a game. So that means on the flip side, the other team's running that many plays. You're in an NFL game as a player, then you're going to play 140 snaps a game? No.
And what is the biggest risk having played in the league? Is it he's just going to get hurt?
Yes. And like body fatigue by week 4.
By week 4?
Yes. Like, shut your body just not being able to do it by week 4 or 5.
Because the quality of the play is that much better in terms of quicker, stronger?
Yeah, I mean, so he's going to go play DB and have to guard Justin Jefferson and those guys, and then go on offense and have to run routes against, the top DBs in the league and the mental aspect of it too. Like, think about that, like having to learn defenses, turning around and have to learn NFL offenses. Like, there's so much computing, and I'm not saying he can't do it. I don't know the young guy. Like, I don't know how.
No, but physically you can't do it. You're just saying.
It's if he's able to do it, I'll be shocked.
We know he's going to try to do it. The question is, how long is he able to do it? I mean, I just think you do one and the other you do in spots.
Maybe in spots.
Maybe you can do half. I don't know which is a better position to do spots. I would think possibly wide receiver because you have different. Different. I don't know what to say. Plans, different
specialty plays.
Yes, and if you're a quarterback, they need you on every play.
You're a shutdown quarterback.
Right. So now we do a 3 wide. We have different things. We bring you in and
you play the slot, this and that.
All right, and the Green Bay Packers with the 23rd selection will take another Brian Bulaga, who was picked 23, Gray Zabel, North Dakota State. If he's available to lock. All right, of course you have no responsibility for this pick. Nobody knows.
No, I mean, like I said, I think it's Emeka Egbuka.
Yeah, that would be the guy called E squared from Ohio State, because then I don't have to mention his name. Wide receiver, and I do want somebody to study, because I think you should seriously look at Ohio State players, because I think they have an incredible amount of talent, and it might be that they can be even better in the pros than they were in college. All right, thanks to everybody here, and the draft show is getting ready. The draft doesn't start for an hour. We're all here at Lambeau Field, and it hasn't changed in the last hour. A steady stream of people all heading to Lambeau Field like the Martians come to town if you're thinking about showing up here either tonight, tomorrow, or Saturday. Next.